What's good, YouTube? David Sports Cards here, back with another video. Hope you're all doing well. And it's everybody's favorite time of the year, the YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame ballot season. Yeah, I know a lot of you are jumping for joy because you get to learn about some new channels that you weren't familiar with before. Or maybe there is a channel you've been following for some time and you want to support them and see support for them, whether it's from a viewer standpoint or in a lot of cases in our card community, supporting your friends that you've gotten to know and sometimes been blessed enough to meet in person at a show or different kind of meetup. But there are many people out there that will be posting more negative content, trying to stir the pot, add a ton of negative energy and things that just flat out don't belong in something that I personally think is a really cool award system, especially with the things that were added by my good friend Jake at Legends Never Die, where you have to be making content for at least 3 years to be eligible. I think that's important because while pressing play is the first step, and if there's anybody out there where this is one of their first videos of mine or they're thinking about making content, press play, get out there, start. I think it's important to honor the people that have kept up with it for the 3+ years, been around, showing off their collections, making connections, and in the words of the founder of the Hall of Fame, Mike Moynihan, baseball collector, educate, inspire, and or entertain. All the 10 channels that I have voted for do at least one of the three really well, if not all three. This was a hard thing for me to come to. The only things that I do for my balloting personally, as this is my first one, is I will only be voting for channels that have made a video in the last year. I care about that activity and keeping up with it. And also the second thing is, if I voted for you, I'm going to continue voting for you until you get in. So if all 10 of the guys, I know it's not possible, get in, then I'll vote for a brand new 10 next year. But loyalty is an important thing to me. If I think you're a very deserving candidate now, unless you stop making videos, you're gonna be on my ballot until the end of time. So that means a lot to me. You gotta be making videos every year. And if I vote for you, I'm gonna continue voting for you. So 10 ballots here. I didn't want to put them in any order, but I decided the fairest way to do it was by seniority, as that is the tiebreaker for votes for the Hall of Fame election. And the first vote on my ballot is Jimmy Guns. His first video was November 22nd, 2017, and he gets my vote here. Jimmy Guns, I think it's the year, man. I'm expecting you to get in on this ballot. You've been very close the last 2 years, and very deservingly so. The gun show is for real, and his lives are super entertaining. He's a friend to so many people. His first video was showing his connection with his daughter opening packs, and that's been really fun to see over the years. And he's just an amazing guy who I'm shocked isn't already in, and I'm not going to be the reason he misses a third year in a row, so I put him on my ballot. The next one is Scott from over at Big Scott 35. His first video was May 10th, 2018, and Scott is a really awesome guy I've had the pleasure of seeing at the last 2 nationals, and he's a content machine. This is a guy who puts out videos every week. I am especially jealous of his ability to sit down and talk baseball with his dad every week. I wish that my dad was into baseball and talking that stuff with me as it is to see with you guys interacting. He also does a consistent live show to bring the community together on Sundays, which I've been blessed enough to be on once as well. And Big Scott is just a guy who tells it how he sees it, and I really respect that. So Big Scott 35 gets my vote. The next one is Carlos from Because I'm Carlos. His first card video was September 11th, 2018. He was making movie and video game content before that. And I know, Carlos, you are not the biggest fan of the YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame, but you deserve to be in there, brother. I talked about Big Scott's live show, bringing people together. Carlos has the longest running live program in the YouTube sports card hobby. His Friday Night Lives have been going on for hundreds of weeks now, and it is absolutely unbelievable that he hasn't garnered more support. This is a guy who doesn't just do the hobby watchdog type content where he's commenting on those things, but he does it from a collector's lens because he is a collector. I'm not a big fan of AEW wrestling or hockey, but seeing Carlos be passionate about those things is really entertaining and fun to me. And then he also connects with me through being a fan of vintage baseball and collecting Green Bay Packers cards, which was my late grandfather's favorite team. So you get to see the collector side of Carlos, you get to see the hobby reaction side of Carlos, and then you get to see the shooting the bull with his friends side of Carlos, with his live show, with his podcast that he does with Bobbles and his buddy Eric. Definitely go check out Because I'm Carlos. Next one is Eddie over at Eddie's Cardboard Chaos. His first video was back in April of 2019. And Eddie, I always quote him, I think more than any other YouTuber, because he always signs off his videos saying, "We don't count subscribers, we count friends." And I think that is truly what our card community is all about. The sub count has never really mattered to me. It's something where I just wanted to have a few people that are like-minded that I can talk cards with and show things off and really understand what I'm talking about. And I've found a couple hundred of you now in my time here on YouTube, Eddie included. It was great to talk to him briefly in Atlantic City, and Eddie just is an amazing guy in the TTM community and in our card community. Check out Eddie's Cardboard Chaos. The next one is Eric over at 4 Leaf Cards. His first video was May 6, 2019, and 4 Leaf is the whole package. He shows his family side, ripping packs with his kids. He is a card community guy, first and foremost. He does his 4 Leaf $5 challenge at the National, where he gives everybody $5 of his budget to go out and get him a card. He also started the YouTube Sports Card All-Star Team this year, which was a really fun thing that I was honored to be picked as one of the winners. And he's a guy who collects it all. He has a fish card collection from the pre-war days. He collects all the way up to modern Red Sox, Patriots, and Celtics, and everything in between. 4 Leaf is a true collector, a guy that I've been blessed to get to see at the last 2 Nationals, and someone that definitely should be in the YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame. The next one is Josh, J. Stottlemyre 1. He's only made 2 videos this year, so he was a very fringe case. I hope we see more videos from you, Josh. But in terms of entertainment and education, the stuff that he is currently going for now, if you're not familiar with Josh's channel, is Babe Ruth and high-end pre-war cards. Being able to see his collection and see how much he is honored to own that stuff, the passion is there when he talks about these pickups. It made me put him over the line to be a YouTube Sports Card Hall of Famer, in my opinion. His first video for cards was October 5th, 2019. He was doing powerlifting videos for many years before that. Josh is just a really great guy with an insanely amazing collection. He's someone that is worth going back and watching older videos as well. And Josh gets my vote. Next one is a first ballot candidate. I got 4 of them on the ballot this year. John over at Wade Boggs Fan. His first video was January 26, 2020, and that is ironic because Wade Boggs' jersey number was 26. He just missed being eligible last year, but John is a well-rounded community member, not just from the content that he does, which he puts a lot of research and time into. He started a podcast, 2 Guys, 1 Hobby, with Don Field of Dreams. He does the Vintage Card Index when he looks at the sales data of a ton of different cards and years. But he also shows off his passion, whether it's being super specific with his 1977 top set with the cards, or collecting his Wade Boggs Super Collection, which is one of the best super collections I have ever seen. And it goes even further that he's such a big super collector of Wade Boggs that he interviewed him this year. They're on a first name basis. Wade recognizes him immediately at shows, and that is just super cool. If that's not Hall of Fame worthy, I don't know what it is. Top it all off, John's a great guy. I've been blessed to see him at the last 2 nationals, and he's such a humble guy. He'll give everybody the time of day, no matter it was me at my first national in Atlantic City when I had under 100 subs, or all the big channels in the world you can think of that interact with him. He's a great listener, a great guy, and a great community member. John over at Wade Boggs Fan. Check him out if you're not familiar. This next one is Ryan and Steven over at Breakout Cards. Their first video was September 7th, 2020. And Ryan and Steven are a little bit different than all the channels I've talked about so far. And it's because they're dealer first, but they educate, man. Their first video was being able to tell the difference between a bunch of modern parallels. Ryan has wrote books on how to spot fake vintage cards and has called them out at videos. But they do something that is commonplace now, I think, in our community. But they've been doing it for years. And it's when they go to card shows and really give you a good feel of the cards they're looking at, the cards they buy, the price they're paying for it. All of that's super important. And then they go out, they both have collections, but they help a lot of people add amazing cards to their collections through the resale market. So Ryan and Steven, 2 great guys. I've bought many cards from them. I've watched a ton of their content. That channel deserves to be in the YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame for the education and the value in cards added to the community alone. Not to mention Ryan and Steven are both really nice guys that I got to meet in Chicago this year. The next one is Don over at Don's Field of Dream Cards. His first video was December 6th, 2020. I'm voting for Don because he let me beat him in trivia over on the 4 Collectors channel. That was our deal. I get to win the trivia and he gets my vote. No, I'm just kidding. Don is an amazing guy. Has such a great, no BS lookout on the hobby and how he collects. He collects what he likes, and he's someone that has a great sarcastic sense of humor, which I appreciate a lot. His 64 top stand-up collection is amazing. He has all the Hall of Famers. He used to have 2 Yaz's, which made me very jealous, as that is an SP, really tough, expensive card. But Don is a community all-star. He's 7'11", and I couldn't leave him off my ballot. Donnie live streams. He's in all the chats. He's super supportive, really nice guy that I got to talk to in Atlantic City briefly. Don's Field of Dreams, go check him out. And my last one is a guy that I got to meet for the first time in Chicago this year. And that's Frank over at Baseball Hall of Fame Autographs. His first video was a Man Cave tour on December 15th, 2020. Frank should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He has the most extensive autograph collection on YouTube. Someone who does deep dive analyses, educating all of us on what to look for in a guy's autograph if they're a Hall of Famer. He prospects for Hall of Fame autographs. He's super generous and does giveaways. But he's just a great guy that is a insane wealth of knowledge. So not only does his content entertain me, it educates the hell out of me, but it inspires me to go after Hall of Fame autographs, build up that PC, and try to catch up to the ranks of him, Mike Baseball Collector, Jake Legends Never Die, Bill the Hall of Fame Collector. Those other 3 guys who are big Hall of Fame collectors that I respect a lot, their autograph collections are in the YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame. Frank needs to join them as well. If you did not make my ballot, I apologize. I only had 10 votes to give, and truly, this was a hard decision for me to make, narrowing it down to 10. I'm going to vote for the guys on my ballot again next year if they don't get elected. But spots should open up. I hope that I didn't just go 0 for 10 here, and that a couple of these guys will come off the list, and you might be able to get on my ballot in future years. I hope you guys support these channels. Go check them out if you're not familiar with them. You will not regret it. I think they are Hall of Fame worthy for a reason. And I really hope that even if it's not this year, because only 5 can get in at a time, that all these channels get enshrined in the YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame one day. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. Whether you were listening to me, looking at the fireplace, I appreciate you watching, and I look forward to seeing who gets elected. Peace.